Well, good morning, everybody. First of all, a follow-up tweet from Jerry. Let me click on that one. Let me click on this. And let's go to down the bottom here. So Jerry Buting tweeted an addendum to yesterday's tweet. Addendum submitted on the briefs does not mean the Court of Appeals has decided not to refer back to the Circuit Court for an evidentiary hearing. That option is still available. Indeed, unless all defence issues are denied, it is likely they would send back for a hearing. And it was in answer to 7pop, a question: does this also mean that they won't refer it back to the Circuit Court for a hearing on the issues? So, surely we wouldn't expect Jerry Buting to answer, in effect, our main questions, which would be, would we get a change of judge? And I think that would be most difficult for him to do, because it would be purely speculative. You know, he would be speculating about it, and I don't think that's what Jerry would do, because he's an attorney in Wisconsin, whereas I am a musician here on Crunch Island, somewhere between Southern California and the Scottish borders, and I am allowed to speculate, and so that's exactly what I intend to do here. I've dug into the various judges that might look at this case. I don't know about you guys. I would find it hard to imagine that Judge Angela Sutkieweicz would be the one that they sent the evidentiary hearing to, when you consider that when we went through the majority, when a lot of the Zellner brief from October the 15th of last year was to do with the fact that, you know, the Circuit Court erred at this. The Circuit Court made a mistake doing this. You know, one suspects that maybe Kathleen Zellner would love to have Angela Sutkieweicz, the judge, on toast again. But I think that would be pretty bizarre, don't you? You know, how the hell could they put Angie in charge of deciding an evidentiary hearing when part of that evidentiary hearing could be about her? Comment there by the Hod, by Sharpbait. So let's see who we've got all here, and then I'll crack on. So hi there, hi Linda, hi Mark, hi Mystic Jinx, and Sean. Hi Sean. Hope the notifications are working now. And Jane, hi Jane, and Sean, and Jane. Where's that comment by Mark? He put something about, yeah, submitted on the brief, something to do with underpants. Absolutely correct, Mark. Yeah, you're doing a good job there. Yeah. As I say, I hope you did all receive the notification. We'll do this now as it's ready to go. This is in response to T1. Okay, T1. I believe this is what you wanted. Okay, so. Okay, that's enough fun for one day. Let's get back to the serious stuff, and let's go back up here. close that down. So as I say, I'm only speculating, but I can't imagine that, as I say, this case is going to go back to Judge Angie, and I'm pretty sure it is going to go back. You know, Judge Riley and this is where it gets confusing, from the District 2 Court of Appeals has looked at this case and twice sent it back to Angie, you know, for various reasons. I can't imagine it not being sent again back for the evidentiary hearing. You know, but as Jerry said, unless there is you know, all of the defense issues are denied, and I can't see how they could possibly deny you know, the wood in the bullet, the handing back of the bones, the whole behavior of Angie, just everything. It screams evidentiary hearing required. So let's show you what I've found out. I think it's this one here. The Wisconsin Circuit Courts are the general trial courts in the state of Wisconsin. There are currently 69 circuits in the state, divided into 10 judicial administrative districts. So there are 10 districts of circuit court judges, but there are obviously only the 4 districts when it comes to the Court of Appeals. Circuit court judges hear and decide both civil and criminal cases. Each of the 249 circuit court judges are elected and serve 6-year terms. Structure of the circuit courts. The circuit court system is composed of 69 circuits, with 66 circuits serving a single county and 3 circuits serving 2 counties each. Buffalo and Pepin counties share a circuit, as do Florence and Forest counties, and Shawano and Menominee counties. 26 circuit courts are served by a single judge. For those circuits with more than 1 judge, each is elected to a particular seat or branch within the court. The Milwaukee County Circuit Court has the greatest number of branches, with 47. The circuit courts are organized into 10 geographical administrative districts. Within each district, the Wisconsin Supreme Court will appoint a chief judge, a deputy judge, and a professional district court administrator. Now, with the exception of Milwaukee County, chief judges and their deputies continue to hear cases while serving. Chief judges assign judges to hear only a specific type of case, e.g., civil, criminal, juvenile. Equalize the flow of cases, establish court policies and rules, and supervise the finances of the courts they administer. They also work closely with county boards on security, facility, and staffing issues. The chief judges and district court administration meet regularly with the director of state courts to discuss current issues and to advise the Supreme Court and the director on matters of statewide concern. Now, the picture that I've put up at the front of the video is that of Barbara H. Key. She is Chief Judge of District 4. And District 4 is the one that services several counties, including Manitowoc and Sheboygan. And as we saw, these chief judges The chief judges will continue to hear cases while serving, but one presumes that Chief Judge Barbara Key is in Oshkosh, which is the main place for District 4. But chief judges, assign judges to hear specific types of cases. Now, it could be that Angie is one of the ones that is assigned mainly the criminal cases. Not too sure about that. Let's come on down though. No, let's go back up. I've gone too far. What I want to look at in particular are the names, find you the names of the 5 judges in the district. But first of all, there's the district map. There's District 4. Manitowoc, Sheboygan, obviously that's Calumet, and then there are these in District 4. Okay, let's come on down. Okay, it must be further on down then. Let me get the... Let's just go back up here, see if I can get, contents. Haha. That's what we're looking for. So, District 4, it says here the court is in Oshkosh, Wisconsin, and the Chief Judge, Barbara Hart Key. District 4 covers the counties of Calumet, Fond du Lac, Green Lake, Manitowoc, Marquette, Sheboygan, Waushara, and Winnebago. And if we come down, obviously we know that in Manitowoc, there's a name we remember well, Mark Roher. But of course, here's another name we know perfectly well. Here are the 5 judges in Sheboygan. Edward Stengel, Kent Hoffman, our own lovely Angela Sutkieweicz, Rebecca Persick, and Daniel J. Borowski. Now, as I said, the Chief Judge, Barbara H. Key, is also potentially somebody who would hear a case. It's only in Milwaukee where that doesn't happen. So let's, for the time being, let's assume that it stays obviously in Sheboygan and see who might be the judges. And I just wanted to point out something, because I'm sure this is something that that you would be interested in. As I say, Chief Judge Barbara H. Key, she is in Oshkosh, as is the Deputy Judge, as is the Administrator, of course, at the Winnebago County Courthouse. This is a document that I found, which is quite interesting, because, let's come on down. It's signed. It's a letter to the Director of State Courts, and who was the one in front of him just before? Chief Judge Logan Sack. And this is an email from Barbara Key to them about the potential of court proceedings taking place during COVID. Please find attached an order approving operational plan and COVID-19 circuit court operating plan and jury trial plan addendum for Sheboygan County, signed. Apparently that is Barbara Key's signature, and as I say, here are the judges to whom it concerns: Edward Stengel, Kent Hoffman. I say these all in the 4th Judicial District: Angela, Rebecca, and Daniel. And further on down, I think we get their signatures. This is not done very quickly, but never mind. And this is typical. Back a wee bit. State of Wisconsin, order approving operational plan for the resumption of in-person proceedings and jury trials in Sheboygan County. So I thought that was quite interesting because, as it says here, whereas the Wisconsin Supreme Court, in light of the COVID-19 pandemic, has entered certain orders related to the operations of the circuit court regarding in-person attendance, appearances and jury trials, and on March 22nd, the Supreme Court ordered that although the courts of the state of Wisconsin remain open, all civil and criminal jury trials scheduled to begin before are continued and rescheduled by the assigned judge to a date after May 22nd. And as amended on the 15th of April, the Wisconsin Supreme Court suspended until further order of this court most in-person hearings in the circuit courts, subject to exemptions for certain matters, including those approved by the chief judges of each district, if remote technology is not practicable or adequate to protect constitutional rights of the citizens of Wisconsin. So basically, to cut a long story short, Sheboygan County, see if this thing will move a bit quicker. Therefore, it is ordered. The operational plan of the Circuit Court of Sheboygan County regarding procedures and practices for conducting jury trials and other in-person proceedings during the 2020 public health emergency and pandemic COVID-19 is hereby approved and is effective July 15th. All previous orders, etc. It is further ordered that the provisions of this order shall be subject to further modification or termination by future orders. Once again, signed by Barbara H. Key. And if we come on down, eventually so we've got all this COVID stuff in place to do with obviously the health, which is obviously of concern. And eventually, so I did see them. I saw the signatures of our 5 judges. There it is. This is taking forever. Sorry about this. In a moment, we'll dispense with this. And here we go. Finally, here are our 5 judges, all signed it. There we have Edward Stengel, Kent Hoffman, Angela W. Sutkieweicz. I didn't realize middle name was W. Okay, Rebecca Persick and Daniel is Borowski, Daniel Borowski. Okay, let's go then to our next let's find out a little bit about the potential judges. We know enough about Angela Sutkieweicz. As it says here, just to recap, Sheboygan County is within Wisconsin Court of Appeals District 2. However, the people of Sheboygan County are served by a municipal court of the 4th District Circuit Court. And as we know, the United States District Court for the Eastern District of Wisconsin has jurisdiction in Sheboygan County. Appeals from the Eastern District go to the United States Court of Appeals for the 7th Circuit. And so, as we know, our Court of Appeals judges of District 2 are obviously Lisa Neubauer, Mark Gundrum, Paul Riley, and Jeffrey Davis. And as I said before, the Circuit Court is operated by Daniel Borowski, Kent Hoffman, Rebecca Persick, Edward Stengel, and Angela Sutkieweicz. Now then, Daniel Borowski. Let's have a look at him. Daniel Borowski is a judge of the Sheboygan County Circuit Court in Wisconsin. He was jumped a bit there for me. Okay. He was appointed by Republican Governor Scott Walker on May 27th, 2016 to replace Judge James Bolgert. And he took office on August 1st, 2016. He won re-election without opposition in the general election on April 4th, 2017. Biography. Borowski received a bachelor's degree from the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee and a JD from the University of Wisconsin-Madison. His professional experience includes working as an attorney in private practice. His firm represented local governments in labor and employment cases and also focused on litigation and risk management. Now, let's have a look at Daniel Borowski in a little bit more detail, shall we? Sheboygan County judge rebuked for overriding prosecutor's discretion to dismiss charges. Wow. A Sheboygan County judge was rebuked by the Court of Appeals, District 2 judges, recently for rejecting a prosecutor's intention to dismiss, then reduce charges against a woman who fought with another woman. Circuit Judge Daniel Borowski erroneously exercised his discretion by not properly considering the public interest, the court wrote. So here is Daniel Borowski. Let's see what it says. I mean, you couldn't make this stuff up, could you? Even though Borowski said courts shouldn't be prosecutors, That's kind of what he became when he denied the state's motion to dismiss a pair of misdemeanors without prejudice, and then to amend the charges to county ordinance violations. Let's have a look at this in a bit more detail. Esmeralda Rivera Hernandez got into a fight with another woman in 2016 and was charged with 2 misdemeanors, battery and disorderly conduct. At a hearing 3 months later, the prosecutor said she had planned a deferred prosecution but decided to just dismiss the case because the victim was uncooperative and was texting threats to Rivera Hernandez. Borowski asked for a written motion, and the prosecutor responded, laying out more details about the case and concluding it was not in the public interest to prosecute it. Rivera Hernandez was only 22 with no prior record. She and the other woman had a history of bad blood. Borowski denied the motion in April 2017. Later, the state tried to amend the case to 2 tickets, but the judge denied that too. Rivera Hernandez eventually pleaded no contest to battery and bail jumping, was sentenced to 2 years probation and appealed. In this case, the court infringed on the discretion of the prosecutor by concluding that the prosecutor had enough to go to trial despite the prosecutor's contradictory finding that he or she did not. Judge Paul F. Riley wrote for the District 2 Appeals Court. Good on you, Paul. The prosecutor may have information that it did not wish to share in a public courtroom regarding its ability or desirability to prosecute. Borowski focused on only 1 or 2 parts of the test for when a judge can deny a prosecutor's motion to dismiss in the public interest: the fair enforcement of the law. The other is the public's interest in deferring to legitimate prosecutorial discretion. And Riley further wrote, the court explained, I'm not sure that the discretion has been thoroughly and completely exercised here, but what the court really meant was that it disagreed with the state's exercise of discretion, not that it had not been exercised, Riley wrote. Riley wrote that he didn't need to address Rivera Hernandez's other claim that Borowski had improperly called her an illegal immigrant at the 2017 hearing. He sent the case back to Borowski to reconsider the state's motion to dismiss the case. Former Governor Scott Walker appointed Borowski to the bench in 2016. He had been a long-time member of the Milwaukee law firm Von Briesen and Roper, specializing in representing municipalities, school districts, and quasi-governmental groups in his civil practice. So that was Daniel Borowski. Let's go to, let's do Rebecca Persick next. And we have a picture for Rebecca. Sheboygan County Circuit Court. She was elected in 2015. Her term will expire in 2021. Education, career, awards and associations, elections, candidate survey. Prior to the 2015 general election, Ballotpedia sent out a survey to all contested judicial candidates in Wisconsin. The following are verbatim responses from Rebecca Persick. Okay, I think the first two are probably the more important. What is your legal experience and how would it aid you to serve as a judge? I have been an attorney for over 20 years. I have spent my entire legal career working full-time in Sheboygan County. For the first 5 years of my career, I worked in the law offices of Barry Cohen, specializing in criminal law. I then worked as the Assistant Corporation Counsel, Sheboygan County from 98 to 03. In that position, I represented the county in mental commitment, guardianship, and protective placement cases, and the state of Wisconsin in child support enforcement cases. I litigated many jury trials in those two positions and gained valuable trial experience. I also filed multiple appeals in various cases. My appellate cases honed my legal research and writing ability and also made me cognizant of the need for a judge to clearly explain the basis for his or her decisions. For the last 11 years, I have worked as the Circuit Court Commissioner, appointed by the Circuit Court judges to preside over some of their caseload. Excuse me. Excuse me. During that time, I have presided over thousands of criminal, family, civil, mental health, and other types of circuit court cases. Consequently, I have a broad experience both litigating cases as an attorney and presiding over cases as a commissioner. I have had the opportunity to appear before and learn from many excellent judges. As a court commissioner, I have extensive experience making difficult decisions that greatly impact people's lives and explaining those decisions to the litigants who appear before me. Although there is no perfect training ground to become a circuit court judge, being a court commissioner is as close an experience to being a circuit court judge as exists. I believe that experience, as well as my previous experience litigating cases, give me an excellent foundation to be a circuit court judge. What do you believe is the most important quality in a judge? Beyond experience, I think the most important quality in a judge is temperament. Most of my caseload, as well as the caseload of the circuit court judges, involves people in crisis for various reasons. I pride myself on treating people respectfully, regardless of why they are appearing before me, on remaining calm, even when litigants and attorneys do not, and on being able to make difficult decisions, as well as explain the basis for my decisions to the parties involved. The judge sets the tone of a hearing. The cases heard in a circuit court are very emotional for those involved. However, a judge needs to respond out of reason and base his or her decisions solely on applicable law. It is important for a judge to remember that he or she is a public servant and gives all cases the utmost attention. Consequently, a judge must listen to and understand both sides of a dispute and explain decisions in an even-tempered and well-reasoned way. Decisions should never be made in haste or out of anger, nor handed down in a condescending or patronizing manner. I have made decisions over the last 11 years. I have consistently displayed an even temperament, sound decision making, and a commitment to justice. Well, excellent words there from Rebecca. Now then, Daniel Borowski, didn't think much of him. Rebecca Persick, excellent words. Let's go to Edward Stengel, and then we'll leave Kent to last. Edward Stengel is a judge for Branch 1 of the Sheboygan County Court in Wisconsin. He was elected to the bench in 1985 and re-elected in 1991, 7-3-9-15, and his current term expires in 2021. And it lists his various education going back to the 70s and his career at the Sheboygan as the lead prosecutor and district attorney. So district attorney 76 to 77, and then from 77 to 85, lead prosecutor, and then 21, well, it's going to be coming up 21 plus 15, 36 years as a judge. Let's see if I've got a picture of him for you. Yeah, there we go. There's Eddie Stengel. Okie dokie. Let's go back then to we don't have a lot on him other than he's been in the job a very, very long time. There was no bits where he has given any like Rebecca, because obviously he was up for re-election, probably unopposed. Okay, and finally, Kent Hoffman. Kent Hoffman is a judge. Oh, what does he look like? No. Where have I put the picture of Kent? Just bear with me a moment. Where have I put the picture of Kent? Just bear with me one moment, would you? While I just do this. Click on that. There we go. Okay, and if I go back to that, and if I click on that, and then we click on that, there we go, there's Kent Hoffman, okay? And I think we're up here. Yep, that seems to have worked. Kent Hoffman is a judge, once again, obviously, of Sheboygan County Court in Wisconsin. He was appointed by Scott Walker in 2016 to succeed Timothy Van Ackeren, and he won re-election without opposition in the general election of April the 4th. Now, I wonder if Kent might be, if it's going to go back to Sheboygan and it's not Angela, I wonder if Kent might be the preferred option. We don't know much about Rebecca. What she said seemed very good. But this is what struck me. Hoffman received a bachelor's degree in criminal justice from the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee and a JD from the University of Wisconsin-Madison. Prior to his judicial appointment, he served as an assistant district attorney in Marinette County from 2009 to 2016. But he previously worked for the Wisconsin Public Defender's Office for 16 years. So maybe he's got a little bit of, the both sides of the system in him. he worked for a long time in the public defender's office. Obviously, also he's been the assistant district attorney in Marinette County. But I have not found anything of the type of scandal that Daniel Borowski was involved in, where he deliberately went against the prosecutors who said, we're just going to drop this, and he decides, no, I'm going to be the prosecutor, and I'm going to prosecute this case. So similar, yes, to Angie. Okay, let's so hi everybody. Let's see who's here. Yes. We've got a whole load of the usual suspects here. Mill Billy, Kelly, hi. Wardy does. The 3 judges in the Wisconsin Court of Appeals that can give opinion and decisions are Lisa Neubauer, Paul Riley, Brian Blanchard. Now, why is Paul reading about circuit court judges? Because they will be sending it back possibly for an evidentiary hearing. I think I made that particularly plain and clear. And as I say, as far as I'm concerned, as far as I could see, we've got 4 judges in the District 2. That we came across. And the 4 judges in District 2, just call up my notes here, probably be quicker. As I say, we did look at them earlier. I don't remember the name Paul Blanchard as being one of them, but maybe he's a recent addition. But as I say, I don't think that it's them that will necessarily hear the case. I think it goes back to quite possibly the District 4 judges in Sheboygan. Of course, could go to Manitowoc, but then you wonder why it went to Sheboygan in the first place when Steve's case was all to do with Manitowoc. Okay, so hopefully that got sorted out. I say I'm a bit miffed that I can't find this structure of the circuit court. Is that it? Nice. Let's just Court of Appeals. Okay. Wisconsin District Court of Appeals, District 2. Current judges. Yeah, this is what I find strange, Wardy does. We've got, in District 2, we've got Lisa Neubauer, Paul Riley, Mark Gundrum, who would possibly recuse himself, conflict of interest, because of him being involved in the Avery Task Force. But yeah, Brian Blanchard, according to this, is in a completely different district. So you might just want to check on your information there, Wardy. Okay. So that's hopefully that explains why I was reading about the District 4 of the circuit courts, because I don't think it's the Court of Appeals that will hold the evidentiary hearing. Maybe they will, but going by the tweet from Jerry, let's pop that up. Should have the picture still here. Let's just look at this once more. Submitted on the briefs. It does not mean the Court of Appeal has decided not to refer back to the circuit court for an evidentiary hearing. That option is still available. Indeed, unless all defense issues are denied, which seems very, very far-fetched when you consider that Paul Riley has already remanded the case back to Angie on 2 occasions, and on both occasions seemed to be a little bit annoyed at her shenanigans. It is likely they would send back for a hearing. And that was in response to a question from 7 pairs of panties. Does this also mean that they won't refer it back to the circuit court for a hearing on the issues? And of course, as soon as Jerry tweeted that, immediately the question surely is, and who would hear? Who would then be the judge to have that evidentiary hearing? It beggars belief that it would be Judge Angie, who, of course, is actually quoted in the brief as having erred on so many issues. It would seem to be a conflict of interest for Judge Angie to have the evidentiary hearing when she's actually one of the items on the agenda, as it were. So let's wait and see. As I say, Jerry, bless him. I don't think he's allowed to speculate. He's an attorney in Wisconsin, and he's going to be careful what he says. And in fact, in Amsterdam, he actually said to me, I have to be careful what I say, because I expect to be called as a witness to an evidentiary hearing to answer questions of ineffective assistance of counsel. He fully expects to be called as a witness. Like I said, if Angie is feeling the heat from Zellner via her emotions, one could only imagine the kind of heat she might feel if she was the judge in the evidentiary hearing. And of course, one wonders if maybe even Angela herself would be called to give evidence as to why she has behaved in the way that she has. Anyway, Sean, yeah, you make a good point. Factor in the COVID element. Could take a while, but as we saw by that document that Sheboygan, all the 5 judges have signed to hold in-person court hearings. And if not, then I read somewhere else that court hearings would be available via Zoom and on YouTube. So there you go. I think I've covered everything. As I say, we know who the judges are in Manitowoc. I can't imagine it being, as I say, Gundrum, but it could be one of the other 2 for the. I found that as well. It's a previous. Okay, I'm going to say cheerio. We've got work to do. So thank you all for tuning in, and we'll catch you all again soon. Bye for now.